If you want to start front-end programming and you don't know what should you do, from where you should start, this video is for you. So let's start. What is front-end development? What is front-end? Let's assume we have, for example, Facebook website. Then you can see something, for example, post, buttons, videos. There are something that we are calling front-end in simple language. This is front-end. For example, you are seeing my screen and I design these phases in Figma. So it's the front-end of the Figma. What's happening in the backend? They're saving and storing the data. It's not the point of this video. We just want to talk about the front. So let's start our phases with phase 1 and let's see how we can learn front-end development and from where we should start. At first, in our first phase, we should learn about the HTML, CSS, and practice with them. What are these two? With HTML and CSS, you can, for example, build buttons, build images, build headers, footers, or anything else that you can see in the UI. You can make them with HTML and CSS. They are not something that we can say they are programming language. They are really simple and they won't take more than 2 or 3 weeks from you to learn them and practice with them. Just please don't forget this, to define a project for yourself. For example, if you are learning HTML and CSS, define it, for example, Amazon UI for yourself. It's hard to implement at the first road, at the first phase. But it's an example. Let's assume that we have Amazon. Just try to make it with HTML and CSS. Not the Amazon, something that you can implement, something simple. But you should define a project. You should practice and define at least 2 projects in phase 1. After that, you can go through one of the important phases that we have and you can go through phase 2 and learn JavaScript. It's very important. It's our programming language. In this programming language, you should learn about the variables, you should learn about the if statement, for loops, many things. It will take near 2 months from you to start from scratch and learn JavaScript and practice a lot with that, define a project again and mix and combine it with the HTML and CSS that you learned in phase 1. So after phase 1 and 2, you should be able to write a UI, provide the UI with HTML and CSS and make them functional by JavaScript. So it means, for example, let's assume in phase 1 we have a button, but when you are clicking on that, nothing will happen. With JavaScript, we can define on-click handler for that. We can define, for example, if user click on this button, navigate to another page. Or no, just calculate something for me and print it somewhere and show it somewhere. So, as I said, it will take near 2 months from you to learn JavaScript. It's a programming language that you should learn, you should practice a lot because in the future you will need it even you choose any other framework. You will need JavaScript. You should work with arrays, work with lists, and many things here. After this, and define a project and write a functional project for yourself, what you can write here, you can simply write a to-do application. What is to-do application? I mean, you have a list, you can add a task to that, mark them as a done, delete them, and update the name of the task. It's a simple to-do application that you should write after phase 2, after you learn JavaScript, to learn how to work with arrays, how to work with methods in the arrays. For example, filter method, for example, map method, how to work with event handlers. So it's a very important part that we have in JavaScript. After that, we can go through phase 3 and learn about version control systems that we have. What is that? GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket or anything else. When you're writing a code, especially when you are in a team and you're writing the code, you should have somewhere to maintain your code, push your code, and use them, and let other people that in your team to have access to that. So you should learn about one of the GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. My suggestion at the first step is GitHub or GitLab, not Bitbucket. But it depends on the clients and everything you will face in the future. But if you don't know which of them you should start, please start with GitHub. It's popular than, for example, and I think it has more user than GitLab. So after you learn that, you should learn about the package manager, npm and yarn that we have in the JavaScript. And we have not in JavaScript, we have them. And after that, after you learn about the version control package manager, you should learn how to publish your code in, for example, in Amazon, in Azure DevOps from Microsoft. You should learn that, how you can publish, how you can build your code, for what you write in your terminal to make a build folder for you. Then you can publish that. After these 3 steps, you should learn about a framework that we have. We have a lot of JavaScript framework, as you can see here. For example, React, Vue, or Angular, or anything else. If you know which of them you should and you want to start, so go through that. But if you don't know, my suggestion is React. Start learning React. It's a JavaScript framework. You can't start directly with React. Before that, you should go through phase 2 and learn about JavaScript. After that, you can learn about the React. In the React, you should learn about the state management, again, variables, hooks, functional components, class component, many things that we have in the React. And if you don't know what should you do in phase 4 and which of them you want to choose, as I said, my suggestion is React. After you learn React, it also will take a lot of time from you, phase 2 and phase 4. Again, I think it completely depends on you, but I think that phase 4 also can take more than 2 months from you to learn React. Not all parts of that, because it's not possible to learn all parts of that in this step. Just to be a mid-level in React or junior in React. You should know about as I said, the state management, one of the important things that we have, Redux, and hook that we have, or anything else. After that, after you learn this, one of the important thing that I forgot to mention, how to connect your application to database, to your backend. It's one of the important things that you should learn in phase 4 or maybe phase 2. It's really important. After these phases, after these 4 phases, you should go through phase 5. You should learn about the test frameworks, or it's better to say test libraries that we have. You can start with Jest. I put my heart icon here, but Jest is better. If you didn't work with any other test library, start with Jest and learn about that. It's not something really hard. You should make sure that your app functionality works fine. And with this step, with phase 5, you can learn and make sure about the functionality or even the UI. And after that, you can go to phase 6. You should learn about type checker language, for example. You started with JavaScript and you should learn about TypeScript. In my idea, it's mandatory. In many companies that you want to hire, in the job description, you will see one of the requirements is TypeScript. What's the difference between TypeScript and JavaScript? If I want to talk about it simply, in TypeScript, we will define type of everything that we want to use. I won't go deeper with this, just you should know that. And again, in my idea, you should also learn about JavaScript, learn about TypeScript. So what will happen with React? You learn React. Which of them we should use, JavaScript or TypeScript? You can use both of them with React, in React. You can build your React project with JavaScript or TypeScript. But again, my suggestion is TypeScript. If you learn JavaScript, you can learn TypeScript in a week, in my idea. So it's really, really important to know about the TypeScript. Let's go to our last phase. The phase 7 is talking about the server-side rendering. If you want to have an SEO, search engine optimization, a friendly website, you should use server-side rendering. Depending on which framework you choose in the phase 4, you can go through one of them here. I mean, if you choose React, you should go with Next. If you choose Vue, you should go through with Nuxt, or any other that you can see in the phase 7. But again, my suggestion here is React and Next. So we have these 7 phases. It will really help you. Just please make attention and go through these phase by phase. Please don't start with React and after that back to JavaScript or anything else. You may start with React and in your mind you can imagine, I cannot understand programming. No, it's not the problem from your side. The problem is that you didn't start with JavaScript and you don't know about JavaScript as well as you should. So please go through the steps and phases, phase by phase I mean, and after phase 7 you will be a mid-level front-end developer, and after that you should learn about the tools, new tools, for example Firebase, for anything else, and make yourself as build a lot of project and make yourself as a senior developer.